Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Radio Geonosis, where we're going to be discussing Star Wars from a certain point of view. Jedi versus Sith codes. That's what we're going to be discussing today. I am Angie.
I'm David.
I'm Aaron. What's going on, guys?
Hey! And today we're going to be doing some hot happenings, David. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
hot happenings.
Tell us about it.
I'm trying to think of which order I want to do them in. Okay, so
Flip a coin?
there's just some mild news,
Star Wars never has mild news.
it's mild for Star Wars. Nothing big, no announcements or anything yet. But EA is working on an open world Star Wars game. They announced that, so
Yes.
Let's hope it's good.
Yes.
Also, the video game front, they patched Star Wars Battlefront 2, so there's now actually a legit progression system.
Mm-hmm.
I checked it out. Pretty good.
Really?
So no stress. No stress.
No stress.
No more he's better than me because he has more money. Although that was never the case because they stopped that. But then they're also going to. I think they kind of patched it. I haven't checked yesterday or the day before where they added some skins in. But I know next month, unless this was the thing, but I heard next month that they're going to do another big patch where it's oh, you're playing as a clone trooper, but you want the 501st skin. So you could buy that in game. And
Is it true that it's $20 at Walmart though, or that Battlefront 2 is?
I've seen it for sale everywhere.
Okay, all right.
As the exact price out there, but I've seen it for sale. I think even on Origin, which is EA's thing for PC, Steam.
Yeah.
I think even there it's on been knocked off on price a lot.
Doesn't that kill you? You pay $70 for a game.
Yeah, when you first get it.
3 weeks later, it's $20.
It wouldn't have been the case if there wasn't the politics surrounding it. Because I was one of those people. I pre-ordered it. Spent $60.
Oh yeah.
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 I was and I didn't feel bad because I enjoyed the game, but I was also oh.
Sometimes you pre-order it, you get special editions too. You might spend $80 up to $100.
Yeah. And then it's $20 at
Exactly.
Walmart.
And that's when I'm on PlayStation Network and I click buy.
Yeah. What the heck?
And then the last cool thing I saw this week was Mark Hamill was talking about George Lucas's original vision for the 3 episodes. Because he's been going back and forth. He kind of sort of trashed episode 8, or he's I didn't agree with this, but it's Luke Skywalker. I have to be Luke Skywalker. Mm-hmm. And then he came back and said, well, I regret saying that because now everybody's using my words against Star Wars and all that. But he was talking about, in that vein, that Luke wasn't supposed to die until episode 9, and it was after he had trained Leia to be a Jedi. So I thought it was kind of cool. I was that's neat. Oh, another cool fun fact of the Luke Skywalker era that came out was the book, which I still haven't read the novelization, but apparently in the book, because everybody's what happened to Luke Skywalker's green lightsaber? You only see it in a flashback, which I was upset about. But apparently the caretakers on the island, the little frog-looking people,
Yes.
they have his lightsaber. They're taking care of it.
Those
the little
well,
gnome
I
things.
I can see that because he was tossing around stuff, so we didn't want him to throw it in the ocean.
Yeah.
I did see this cool meme too, where it was I'm gonna try and describe it. It was some scenes from episode 6, comparing them to episode 8, and it was Luke Skywalker with kind of a distraught look on his face, when he's the first one was they both take place. The episode 8 ones are when the flashback with him and Kylo Ren, and he's about to kill Kylo Ren, and the other one was from Return of the Jedi after he defeated his father and was about to kill him. So it's the first 2 are him looking distraught, the second 2 are him holding the lightsaber, looking at it, and then it's looking at him over the shoulder with the lightsaber in front of Darth Vader compared to Kylo Ren. And the last one was him as Luke Skywalker tossing his lightsaber away when the Emperor's taunting him, and the last one was him tossing the lightsaber over at the beginning of episode 8. So I was oh, that's cool. I also saw a fun one that was, it's not news anymore, but it's a meme where oh yeah, Luke Skywalker is talking oh, I can't kill my father. They're still good at him. And it cuts to episode 8 and he's getting ready to kill Kylo Ren just because he's kind of bad. I was oh, I can kind of get that. That's a little messed up.
I did see some stuff today when I was, thumbing through Facebook, and there was, they were giving out little tidbits about things, and we had talked about this, how Phantom Menace?
Phasma.
Oh,
Phasma.
Yeah, Phasma.
I'm I couldn't get that out.
Yeah.
Phasma's armor is made from Palpatine's ship. Now, I was talking to Aaron earlier about this. Now, indulge me in this, okay?
No.
That possibly in Revenge of the Sith, he did not send his real self, but he sent his clone in there, knowing that there's a possibility that he would be killed because he knew how Darth Vader felt about Luke.
Well, wait, you
knowing
mean
that he was
Return of the Jedi?
Return
oh
of the
Yeah,
Jedi.
Return of the
I was like,
Jedi.
wait a
Where am
second.
I? Where am I?
He didn't die in Revenge of the
No,
Sith.
I'm like, where am I, Angie? Where am I?
There's so
Okay.
many movies though.
Cool,
I know, I'm like,
but then you take I like
everything's
that.
mushing together.
But then you take away from the whole that's like the climax of the series. Like we finally killed this crotchety old man. We got him. Like
Right, but what I'm saying is he sent his clone in there. The clone gets killed. He's still alive and jumps into her body and then makes his armor from the
shit.
ship.
that'd be kind of cool. I'd be like really stretching for it, but I'd like to see a comic book on that or something.
You know, there's a
Just like a what if, you know? Like,
Yeah.
yes, exactly, because
that depends on what her age is, though. Because if she wasn't even born by the time he died, which I imagine she would, because it's 30 years, and she's
Right.
like an adult. Yeah, I could see. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and she
that's
could have
pretty older.
been she could have been a child that showed some sort of ability, and here
Mm-hmm.
he's this crotchety old dude's in one of the planets hiding. You know,
I still wish they would portray her in the movies like they did in the books, where she was just like, "Oh,
because
the
you
only way
don't
for me to
really-
get out of this situation alive is to kill all my officers." Like,
Oh,
it's like she's like hardcore. That's what
and,
I
Palpatine
want.
didn't have a problem killing people. He killed his own family.
Yeah.
So,
True.
You know, he didn't have a. She
But
could
he
have done
didn't
that.
off people as frequently as Vader did that were in the same
He didn't need
command
to. He
structure.
had the hitman after that. He
Exactly,
didn't
like-
need to.
Yeah, he was really, really higher up. Like
He
could
was
get
the
his hands-
Godfather.
Yeah,
he was sending
Right.
Vader out
yeah,
to kill
his
people.
hands weren't getting
Exactly.
dirty. None of their hands really get dirty if they don't want to. They could force, grab, and pull all that. But,
Right,
I mean, yeah,
right.
he was a shot caller at that point.
Yes,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Baller shot collar.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly like that's what his place was. So
He didn't need to. He
Yeah.
didn't need to. So I just think that there's a possibility, because why would they tell us that? Why
Yeah.
would they put that in there?
I think it's just for funsies. Like,
I don't think so.
eh.
I think,
I mean, they
think-
could make something out of it. Like one day, like maybe she was.
and you don't really see her face.
no, you don't.
You kind of see her eye,
You
like,
see her
when-
eye,
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when after.
and they're like,
after
"Oh, it's
saying-
Gwendolyn Christie. She's in
Oh,
Game of
it's
Thrones."
Poppy.
Like,
But you, what do you think? What do you think? Do you think like the spirit of Palpatine is?
No, I think
roaming
I wouldn't be
around and-
because he
surprised.
could
Like,
jump into people's bodies. He's the only one who had all the holocrons. He had all the Sith information. Nobody else had it.
Yeah.
He
I don't know,
had-
it
he was
comes,
privy
like-
to it, and whatever he took from his master was doing all. Come on, he created Anakin.
Yeah.
His master created Anakin, so there's a possibility that he had that information.
no, I can see it, but as like a storyteller, it takes away from the story. But
It
to say that, I think it would be cool, like if there was some sort of like, "Oh, I'm not really dead, ha ha ha, I'm a spirit," or I'm in, possessing someone else.
Yeah.
Like,
both get
I think it
thrown
would be
down
a
the
good
shaft.
story for like. I think it would be like a good, not a movie story, but like a good short story for like a comic book or a video game or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Because like once you could still make it canon that way. But it's like you put like you do episode 12 and it's about Emperor Palpatine coming back. It's like we dealt with this like 30, 40 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
but
just,
he's still.
because that's when you start fearing like, oh, Disney and Lucasfilm are really grabbing for plots right now.
Well, no, but he could come back and fight for Snoke's position, or because now that Kylo killed him,
I think Snoke's still alive.
no, he got cut. In
I wouldn't
half.
be. Well, you got to think
He
about
was,
it. Think
you
about
know,
it this way.
He was not moving around, and there was some time they were fighting in that chamber, and that guy was not
Like,
moving around. He
Yeah.
was
His body was
gone.
still.
I
his
won't
body
be
was-
sad if he's dead forever at all.
I think he
but I
is.
think I think there's a chance. Let me say that. I think there's a chance he could be alive because he's more powerful than Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker was able to astral project himself across the freaking galaxy.
That's
and on
true.
top of that, how the hell does Snoke not know that Kylo Ren's about to kill him when he literally fused their minds together across him and Rey's minds together across the galaxy?
But I don't think he had the
knows
ability to do
everything.
Well, I
think,
don't know.
I think he was so caught up and enamored with Rey to where like
I will say there's just a little bit more going on with him than what we at least because like I wouldn't be surprised at all if like he was like that's a husk of himself and like maybe he was trying to get Rey or even Kylo Ren to like do like the Emperor Palpatine thing, like possess him. Like I honestly thought the first time I saw episode 8, and I still think it'd be kind of cool, but I don't think it too much anymore. I thought it would be cool that because Kylo Ren in that movie has like this really big like personality shift
Temper
and
tantrum?
it's right after. Well, no, if you watch the movie, which I just did again because it's out now.
Well,
It's so
yeah.
good.
I haven't
PS4.
bought it. Shame on myself.
It's on my PS4. I have it. I've been watching it nonstop.
Like Kylo Ren is Kylo Ren for the first part of that movie, and then the second Snoke dies, he goes ape shit. Like he's like, I want every man pointing guns at Luke. He goes like off the rails hatred. So like I was thinking like, oh, maybe Snoke possessed him like instantaneously as he was killed, and that's why there's like that great personality shift. Whether or not that's the case, I mean, I don't know, but I thought that was kind of cool because I just think there's no way that Snoke. Whether he's not dead, but like something about him is living. Like maybe there's a plan in motion that like.
But when I bring it up about Palpatine, I'm wrong.
Because Palpatine had a beginning, middle, and end. Snoke had a beginning, and it was like cut him in half.
And, you know, that was his end. That was his end.
They brought Darth Maul back. The exact same thing. Oh, badass dude.
But
cut him in half.
Then there's an argument. Lucasfilms and Disney are following along the same path, like you said earlier.
I mean, I don't think they're gonna give Snoke mechanical legs or anything, but like,
no.
I wouldn't be surprised if his spirit, like, if I had to say the most realistic iteration of Snoke being in Episode 9 is it's gonna be a foil to Luke. Luke is obviously gonna come back as a Force ghost. Mm-hmm. Probably Snoke will too. Like have that foil.
It just didn't seem like in The Force Awakens he had a real big part. You know, there was really nothing. There was nothing there, you know what I mean? We saw him in a shadow talk. Like, where did this guy come from?
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, he's in the throne room and he gets cut in half. It's like, that's it.
That's what I'm saying. There's a little bit more to that in whatever way you want to interpret it.
That's what David's saying. He's saying, like, there's just no way that he could just be gone just because, like, as a telling a story.
Yeah, from a story standpoint, from a lore standpoint, it's like
there's just no way.
I know why they put that in the movie. They wanted the shock value, and they wanted to use it as a plot device to propel Kylo Ren up a step.
Yeah,
but it's like still like you don't put that much. Oh no,
I don't. You know what? I don't know. He had this 15 seconds of fame.
I think personally that Rey and Kylo Ren are just two big characters. It's all about them. Like that's what I think. I think it's like. Yeah, Snoke was in there. He was seen. He's cut in half.
Yeah.
It's really
but he
it's all
didn't matter
about
because the meat and potatoes of the story was about them.
But do I think there might be like a plan of motion to keep his spirit living on as far as like he had a
he's like I know Kylo Ren's gonna kill me, but that's like one step.
And there's like an ultimate end game that Snoke has like like meticulously like set in plan. That's what I think too.
You guys think about it this way too. Unless there's another Skywalker out there, which Luke is confirmed to have had a wife. Mm-hmm. But we don't know anything unless there's more in the novelization, which I haven't read. But like,
you go on to Cliff Notes.
But like, if Snoke is dead forever, so there's no enemy. Kylo Ren is now the enemy of the bad guys, and he's the leader of the bad guys. So you have two options.
Well,
turn him, and it becomes anticlimactic.
Well, no, he doesn't like him. I think Kylo Ren is going to be in a lot of trouble in the next one. I think he might be some kind of overthrowing.
Yeah, you mean a shakeup at the top?
Yeah, really.
He's going to be like Nixon, just like everybody's like, we're going to have to overthrow you or something, dude.
Yeah, and maybe,
like he's going to be doing like a bunch of crazy stuff. Like what?
Maybe Rey has to maybe Rey has to become his teacher and like.
But if they kill Kylo Ren though. That's the end of the Skywalker bloodline permanently. But unless, like I said, there was a daughter or a son with Luke and his wife.
Yeah.
But like, because that's what my hope was at the end of Episode 8. Snoke's still alive, obviously, minus all the tiny plot details. But the whole thing is Rey is able to turn Kylo Ren back to the light side, and they together have the power to.
That could be in this next movie.
That's what I'm hoping. Because that'd be kind of cool.
I think there's going to be a shakeup at the top. Kylo Ren gets like banished some sort of he has to flee for his life from that side and runs into Rey, and Rey like convinces him like you have to.
Well, it's like Rome. There was always someone waiting to take over. You know, in the 500 years of Roman time, you killed one. Emperor, the next one stepped up. So there's a possibility, there's a possibility there's someone in the wings, or even another clone Snoke.
I used to say there has to be someone. I used to say there has to be someone above Snoke too.
I can kind of see that.
I think I just think because with the Sith, there's just always someone.
They're very sneaky.
Yeah, they are. There's just always somebody.
Palpatine was obsessed with the unknown regions, which is as far as we know, where Snoke is from. Mm-hmm. So we presume that what he was trying to find and search for in the unknown regions was Snoke or something related to Snoke, because he sees something powerful out there. So even if Palpatine is chasing this most powerful Force user ever, or something even just related to him, why the hell is he like killing this? That's what I'm saying. It's like, I think there's just a little bit more, like, I understand it as a plot device and a story device and for the shock value, but there ain't no way that Kylo Ren is running the First Order, let alone successfully.
He seems like a kid that doesn't have any direction. He's
he's definitely lost.
He's all over. You know,
Kylo Ren is definitely that lost character.
He's just pissed because Luke Skywalker accidentally tried to kill him 15 years ago.
He's definitely that character.
I don't think Luke would have done it.
He didn't do it.
I know he couldn't do it.
He couldn't. Yeah, that's his nephew.
It
was just.
But you gotta remember at that time too that he was trying to kill Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren was already under the influence of Snoke.
Yeah.
So that would probably just pushed him over the edge.
But he still wouldn't have done it because this is Leia's son.
Yeah.
His sister. And I mean they have a very, very close relationship.
Yeah,
so I don't think so. I honestly
have that twin
don't.
bond.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
On top of that Force,
but
on top of that,
they feel each other's emotions. So.
Yeah.
That's why too. I saw a picture on Facebook too. It was one of the Star Wars pages I like. And they were serious about it, but it's funny because I had to laugh about it. You know that last scene when there was 8 of them left on the Millennium Falcon that they did a wide shot of, and somebody posted hey, here's the picture, and they're the last members of the Resistance heart, and I was like, yeah, they're really gonna get far. The last 8 members of Resistance with no Master Jedi anymore.
Yeah,
that's the one thing. That's one of the main things I really disliked about that movie was they killed everybody.
Yeah, but you're gonna see people come out from somewhere else because the Jedi seem to have that ability to come out of the woodworks.
Yeah, Rey she might lead that next regime. That might be her calling. Her calling might be to just resurrect the next regime, the next group, next Jedi.
She took the books, so that she'll have that information.
She'll have that knowledge,
and she'll have Force Ghosts to call upon because she'll have Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon. We know he's a Force Ghost.
Yeah,
we know Yoda's a Force.
And now
we know Anakin is a Force Ghost now too.
Yeah.
And he knows good and bad, so he's not gonna give her some wrong information.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I've always wanted, ever since Episode 7, I wanted Anakin Skywalker to actually appear as a Force Ghost and pimp slap Kylo Ren. No, I'm not talking to you. I'm not telling you these things. You have some sort of schizophrenia. That's what I want. Because
I just think he has the wrong picture about his grandfather because he says I want to be like my grandfather, and he's got the helmet that's all burned up, but he doesn't understand that during that time is when he changed back to the good side. He went back to the light, and by him holding the helmet that was all burned up, it's kind of backwards because it's not. He wasn't killed because he was bad. He let himself die because he wanted to be good.
Yeah, I think with Kylo Ren, it's
he doesn't have all the information.
Yeah, curiosity kills the cat. He wants to know more about who Darth Vader was, not really knowing that Darth Vader was going through the same thing he's kind of going through. Was going through battling between the good
and the bad.
And you will end up in the same. It's going to end up the same way for you if you don't choose now. If you decide to wait.
But the helmet, just it being burned, sitting. How he set it down.
Yeah, how he set it down in the ashes and stuff like that.
But he doesn't understand that. When it was being burned, his dad actually, his grandfather changed back.
Yeah. He's thinking as a way they did that to him,
But he has the wrong information.
Yeah,
What's he going to do when he finds out the right stuff?
Exactly, and he doesn't.
Once again, it goes back to Snoke. Snoke's the one who kind of fantasized Darth Vader for him, which I think Snoke fantasizes Darth Vader too, because the ring he wears is obsidian from his castle that we see on Mustafar. So it's I don't know what's going on with Snoke
I wonder
either.
If Snoke was possibly one of Anakin's guards. Remember the old man that tells Darth Vader that Krennic is there?
Yeah.
Is that Snoke?
That's a politician. Actually, if you pay attention, that's one of my favorite kind of Easter eggs of Rogue One that a lot of people noticed. You remember when in Episode 6 when Emperor Palpatine arrives to the Death Star and he has that his entourage with him.
Right.
That guy is one of the politicians from his entourage.
Oh, okay.
But I see what you're saying. Could it be somebody?
Could it be someone? Could it be? Yeah.
Someone from that entourage who knew how
we
to
just
get
need to
that
know more
power.
about Snoke's past because we don't know anything about him other than he was in the unknown regions and he's ancient. He's extremely old.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
all we
So
know.
how did he get old? He learned how to stay alive. They have that. Some of the Sith had that ability on how to stay alive. Remember in the Sith book, they talk about that, the longevity of life.
I thought it would be kind of cool that
Bane was what could have been 1,000 years old. They don't know.
He was searching for
Snoke
that.
was so old his head was open.
No, I was maintaining that like
That's
he
how
was like
old he is.
zombifying almost. He was like decrepit,
Yeah,
but how he was staying alive was
you're
like he
that
was
old, your
sucking
head
the
will-
force out of people.
Yeah. That's how old he is. Like his skull was.
That's why I
But
maintained that.
on Mustafar, is that a possibility that dude could be Snoke?
Nah, because he died in the Death Star.
How do you know?
Because he was on the Death Star when it blew up. all of Palpatine's entourage, at least in old canon, was.
Does it show it?
Well, no, but it's
Then
part
you
of still
don't
part of
know
the
for
story.
sure.
But you don't see him leaving the
And you
station
don't-
either.
Yeah, but you don't see him on it either.
No, I wouldn't say that would be Snoke, because that's like
He
at the rate of how old we know Snoke is and what he looks like now. You go back 40 years, there's no way those two people are the same, because like his deterioration is like centuries.
But he is
not,
tall. He is tall.
He's
Snoke's
huge.
way taller than that dude. Though Snoke's hands like the size
I
like
think
of two
I think
faces.
Snoke is like just a not a being, but like he's like not an alien, but he's from some like he's
What
from,
if
obviously.
he was one of the creatures that was in Palpatine's laboratory?
I mean, that could be a possibility.
I
Could be.
like to open up the can of worms. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean,
But what if?
just because he's abnormally huge, but he's human. It's
Yes.
like he's human also, but he's just really huge.
Yes, he has some. He
It's-
has the abilities to do certain things, and there's a possibility that he was created in the lab by Palpatine.
I mean,
because
that could be why his head
Palpatine.
is split open. I mean,
Yes.
Yeah, could be.
it could be.
Yeah.
It could be. I mean,
But he's ancient though.
Yes.
That's one of the main facts we know about him is
Hello,
he's.
Aren't we talking about age? That they had that ability. They had the holocrons.
Well, I'm
and
saying
in
if
the Sith
Palpatine
book-
created him though, he'd be less than 100 years old. But he's ancient. He's
But he could
potentially
have been
thousands of years
He could have
old.
been a being that he had in the prison, because in the Plagueis book, he has beings in.
But that's not canon anymore.
I know, but what I'm saying is I'm stretching here.
Well, you
Run
stretch.
with me. He could be one of the creatures, one of the people that was created in the lab.
yeah.
Or was some sort of scientific experiment. Because why would he have that ring from Mustafar? There is a point to that.
Yeah, no, we just don't know what that is yet. But I maintain that
It could be
he has no
connected.
ties to anybody other than a passive tie to Palpatine because Palpatine knew something powerful was out there and was trying to find it.
Well, they
I honestly think
wouldn't put-
Snoke's like 100% completely new with maybe some like trace back to ancient Jedi or ancient Sith. Because like I liked how some people like I kind of see it like the little diagram thingy in the temple that Luke's at where it's like half light, half dark, gray meets in the middle.
Right.
Like there's like the emblem kind of looks like Snoke, but it's still like
No,
that's reaching too.
Yeah, that's
but like
reaching.
if anything, I would maintain that his origins begin thousands of years ago as a Jedi who betrayed, or like maybe even in that order in the library on the temple in Coruscant. Maybe he's one of the like what was it the
Librarian?
no one of the I forgot the exact number. It was like one of the 15 or 18 or 12. They're the statues. Count Dooku is one of them. The people who have
We're gonna have to go
amicably
back and
left the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
So he
I
could
don't
even be
know.
one of them.
I don't
Like
see it.
retconned.
I don't know. There's a significant reason for him to be wearing that ring.
I know, that's what I was saying.
There's a
It's
significant reason.
it's
and
weird
especially when
that-
it ties back to Mustafar.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
well,
this is-
it doesn't tie back to Mustafar, so it just ties back to Vader's castle on Mustafar.
Yeah, which ties
Because
back
Vader's
to
castle could have been
Anakin's-
on Tatooine, and it would still.
No, which ties back to Anakin's battle with Obi-Wan.
But that's
on
tying
Mustafar.
back it for Darth Vader, not necessarily for Snoke, because Darth Vader still was one of the most powerful Force users in the galaxy, and he had this ancient monolithic temple castle built. So maybe that's the significance of it. Like
But-
it's powerful in the Force.
But he
this
wouldn't have gone
structure.
to Mustafar had Palpy not sent him there.
Yeah.
He sent him there.
I see that, but I don't see the connection you're making. Like I've said, I seriously maintain once Snoke's backstory is revealed, whether it's comic books, movies, books,
We need that.
It's
'cause
gonna
we
be
could argue
yeah.
for about a half hour.
it's gonna be like nothing. Like I said, I guarantee you, like one of the few things, like Darth Vader or Palpatine will maybe Palpatine. I will stretch for that though. but like they will have no actual contact with Snoke. I think the only contact, quote unquote, will be, like I said before,
Phasma kept an eye on
Palpatine knows that something's out there and he's trying to find it.
Phasma kept an eye on him because she's Palpatine. Don't you like the way it's like a soap opera? I've been watching too many of those when I was younger. So today our show is Jedi versus Sith codes. So I have an opening argument.
Oh, wait. Because I am the judge. I'm going to be showcasing this. So you guys have your arguments, right?
I have
So what
mine.
you got to do is you guys each get an argument. And then, whether you have researched it or not,
I have.
I am also going to not only ask you questions about the codes, but about the organizations themselves, which at first I didn't want to do. I wanted it to be code versus code. But based on your knowledge of the codes,
I
want to
can
see
answer some of
how
these questions.
you guys think various members of each organization reflected the code. Not necessarily, oh, well, the Jedi code's better because Obi-Wan's awesome. No, like the Jedi code's better because this is how Obi-Wan was, how he portrayed.
Drank and partied?
How he portrayed it. So, see, exactly. He's an alcoholic, so he automatically loses. But no, so I have, and there will be a winner.
Okay.
I hope you guys, and it's not biased. I am legitimately curious of other people's arguments. I'm not going to immediately side with Aaron.
Okay.
So,
because I've been arguing about.
we'll immediately
No.
so we'll do Jedi first. So if you have an opening argument,
Yeah, I have an
Angie.
opening. Okay, so this is just what I wrote. I've always loved the underdog, the good guys, if you will. I see the Jedi as the underdogs. Their code have endured over the Siths. That's why the Jedi have survived for 1,000 years longer than the Sith Empire. They have survived longer. And when the Emperor tried to take down the Jedi, Palpatine got most of them, but not all of them. He did not get every Jedi. There were still some out in the galaxy he was not able to get. At the end of the Empire, it was Palpatine's own apprentice, Jedi, turned Sith, turned Jedi, that endured. During the New Order, the Jedi, the underdog, they still endure and stand strong.
Okay, so your first point to argue is flip back. I want to see it again. What you wrote down. So you said how one of the lasting things was the Emperor's apprentice was a Jedi, then Sith, then turned back to the Jedi.
Right.
So your point to argue is how do we know that Vader turned back to the light because of the Jedi or because of his son?
Because because Luke knew there was still good in him. That's the one thing that he knew in his heart. He felt it from Anakin, not from Darth Vader. He felt it from Anakin. He felt it. There was still good in him. There was conflict. And there was conflict in the first movie. He sensed it. In the second movie, in A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, because he didn't kill him. He didn't kill Leia because he knew those were he had a feeling, and it was a lot of turmoil in him. And I think he turned because he knew about he knew that one, Anakin was his son. He knew that, but he also knew the right thing to do was it's like a dad who is an alcoholic and a drug addict, but he wants to do the right things. So he knows what the right things are, but he has his son as the stronghold to keep him tethered to doing the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Boom!
So I have a statement for you.
And it will be all wrong.
I think
But
Angie
you can't
got
answer
this
it
one.
yet. You have to think about it.
Okay.
Well, Aaron's presenting his,
Okay.
and then if we come back to it, we will. So, essentially, you have the Jedi Code in front of you, right?
Yes, I do.
So, and kind of like the spirit of all your arguments, especially with, Luke senses good in him, the Jedi Code
You
doesn't
said it
necessarily...
how many times?
Well, a bunch of times, because he's
Okay.
obsessive. But, the Jedi Code, if you look at it at face value and read each line, it doesn't necessarily say anything about being good. Because you could be evil and you could still be peaceful. You can be a murderer and still have knowledge and no emotion. So...
Because there was family involved, too. Not only was there the Jedi, which he knew. He wrestled with it when he when he first became Darth Vader, because first thing he asked for was, where is Padme? Because in his heart, he still was who he was. He asked for Padme. That was the first thing. So let's just get that out there. He didn't know he had children. He found out he had children. But I think he still wrestled with it. I think even though he was killing for Palpatine, he still wrestled inside because there was still good in him. His dad, if his son picked it up, he felt that there was, and that was the way that they could relate it. Because remember, Luke did not have any knowledge of Jedi until he runs into Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
He has and he really doesn't, and when he's trained by Yoda, the training is like by the seat of your pants. It's not the full temple training.
No.
So he has the minimal amount of training as a Jedi, but he has that sense in him.
Yeah.
So think about this while I go to Aaron. So it's a debate. You guys have to wow me.
Okay.
I have high standards. I'm sorry.
Wow. Okay.
I honestly thought we were debating, not even debating. We were going to go over which. I didn't know it was.
We're going to turn to debate.
Okay. Yeah.
You got this.
I
You got this.
That. Yeah, go ahead.
I believe in you. So think about this.
Sounds like someone
for a
siding
hot
with
minute.
somebody.
Think about this for a hot minute. So you're arguing for the Jedi Code, not necessarily for the Jedi Order, because there's various iterations about what's right and wrong in the order.
Right.
So if you're arguing for the Jedi Order, I lost it.
No, you did it.
Okay, no, I didn't. You're right. No, I didn't. Oh, it's coming back to me. So if you're arguing for the Jedi Order, why does that code, the code itself, make any individual? If you want to use Darth Vader, I think that's a good one. Why does that code make Darth Vader who he is? How does Darth Vader portray or represent that code that matters in a way that is better than when he acknowledged the Sith code? So, yeah, think about that. You gotta think about that?
Okay.
So, Aaron, why do you think the Sith code is the best?
Why do you think the Sith code is the best? Oh my goodness. Well, in my notes right here too, I have it written. I wrote, "I'm torn." Like that was the first thing I started. And especially after reading that book, you know what I mean. And I'll go back to this.
It's really interesting.
It
isn't
is,
it?
and I have to go back to.
It's a little creepy.
Yes, it is. Especially when you're reading at night. I kind of have to go back. For me, what I had to do was kind of go back to the movie. It recently came out, Black Panther, where Killmonger, which I think in hindsight is like really ties in with the Sith code and the Jedi code. You have Black Panther, you have T'Challa, who was raised on these morals of this, that, and so on and so forth. And Killmonger more so raised on, you could more so say, the Sith way of things.
Yeah.
The Sith way of things would have to argue be better than the Jedi code. If I had to argue the Sith code being better than the Jedi code is, their code, the job gets done at any cost. The job gets done. That's because we just alluded to earlier. You even said it. They're sneaky.
Yes.
They're very, very sneaky. They come out the woodwork, just like you can say Jedi too, but Jedi they definitely
They have a sense of code and morals, and whereas the Sith wouldn't.
They do have a code. Hold on, time out. Time out.
I'm wrong about
they
that.
do have a code of morals. Morals.
Yeah.
Is just like Palpatine said it best. Yeah. Good as a point of view.
Yeah. You know. So and with the Sith, it's more so like, yeah, I understand. I'm gonna wipe out my whole legion of people, or whatever, my ground workers, my bathroom crew, whatever it is that I have to do, but their only concern is the task at hand, and does the job get done, and will it get done, and it will get done at any cost, whether it's our own people's lives or whatever. They just want the job done. They kind of really don't care. With the Jedi, all the thinking, which. And they kind of make a play on it. They kind of joke around with it in the movies. They kind of allude to, like, you guys are basically thinking too much. You guys are in your own ways of your code. With us, it's more so like, no, nothing. There's nothing to hold us back from getting whatever it is done.
That is so true.
So if I had to argue for the Sith code,
well, you made a pretty decent argument so far.
I didn't want to at all, like, because they're really shitty people. But that's what I would say, is that at all costs, like at any cost, whatever it is, make sure the job gets done, and then we go on and so forth, and
So
but you can see from that kind of code, it went down to 2 people.
Absolutely.
And from that, it went down to 1 person because, and even no person, because at Return of the Jedi, he kills Palpatine, and then
he does he does wipe the Sith out.
Yeah, he wipes
until
the Sith out.
Until in
because
whatever
there was only
there's a
2.
resurgence. Yeah.
And see, you see that there's still the Jedi prevail.
Mm-hmm. Like as of now, up to episode 8, there are no Sith. But like that can change. But you make a point. There are no Sith. When Anakin did what he did, especially after the Rule of 1 was enacted and Palpatine was the only true Sith, you're correct. The Sith did get exterminated.
Yes.
Yeah.
And because they have that, we're going to take people out they took out their own, and what they did was there was no one left.
Yeah.
There was no one left to rise above that. But I will say this, and this is an argument for both sides, is that you see children in the Force Away. I mean, in the Last Jedi.
Last Jedi.
You see children that have that ability.
Exactly.
And in the books we're reading, so you're going to see kids from both sides. You're going to see kids with that Sith. You're going to see kids with that Jedi. I think we're going to see that.
Yeah.
But,
So your first question is though. So the Sith code is essentially pieces of light is only passion. Through passion I gain strength.
Yeah.
Through strength I gain power. Through power I gain victory. Through victory my chains are broken. The Force shall free me. So kind of like
but you're not
opposite
free.
to her.
But you're not free.
Snoke said.
It depends on what your interpretation of free
Snoke
is.
had a really good quote. It was evil as shit, but it was a really good quote. He said to Kylo Ren once left the room. What's his name?
Hux.
Hux left the room, and he was like, "You know why I have I have him as my my commander?" And he said something about like, I believe it was like because if you give someone, I forgot, but it was like a really really good quote. If I was a Sith, I'd be like, "Oh shit!" Like, let me write that down. I forgot exactly what he said, but it was just a gem he dropped on Kylo Ren before he was like, "I don't know about you right now." You know what I mean? It was right before he told him that. Like, I really don't know.
But see, that's the Sith. The Jedi were never like that. They didn't question each other like that. They weren't suspicious of each other. They weren't doing underhanded things. They may have done things that weren't of the Jedi code.
Yeah.
And they were getting things done, but they always tried to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Because they are the underdogs.
She's trying to win hard.
For the Jedi, it's there is no emotion, there is peace.
Oh yeah, do the code.
There is no ignorance, there is knowledge, there is passion, there is serenity, there is no chaos. Get that? Chaos.
There's nothing
harmony.
about chaos in this one's code.
There is no death. There is force.
Yes.
The Jedi center their mind, and they have done so and survived 20,000 years, and they didn't survive with just 2 folks. They did.
But the Sith at one point were massive. They only went to the rule of 2 because like they were just like, we're killing each other. Like,
exactly.
And they pledged to be guardians of peace and justice in the galaxy. They felt that they needed to do this. It was something it was bestowed on them, and they wanted to do this to protect the galaxy. They had that.
I need a spinny chair so I can like.
Yeah,
the Jedi is dedicated to studying and understanding the Force. The Jedi Order follows compassion, mercy, benevolence. I don't know if I said that.
Benevolence.
Yeah,
benevolence.
Path of the light side.
Okay, so you make some. I could argue against them, but I'm not arguing against you. You guys argue against each other.
Seems like you are.
No,
supposed to be monitoring here.
I am monitoring, so it's time. But it's time for Aaron to answer a question. So, what's my question for you? Oh yeah, so we got the Sith code, right?
Yeah.
In it, like her Jedi code, says nothing about being right, like evil or good. It's just a code. Yeah. So with that in the Sith code, you're kind of like answers.
The Sith code doesn't say anything about being bad.
No, neither. The Jedi code says nothing good about being good.
And it says nothing
good about being
bad.
bad.
Yeah.
So go with me on this. Can somebody good of heart, not Jedi, because different orders, but just somebody good of heart, whether it was a Jedi who left the order or just someone they found who was like, I want to bring good to the galaxy. How can he use the Sith code and why?
He can't.
But he can't. Because peace is a lie. Oh, I'm making his argument for him, and then he's going to win. But he can.
No, they can't.
Just think back to ninth grade English when you had to like write an essay on a book you just wrote.
I can't see it because
and I went online and got them and looked.
Spark Notes, man.
Yeah.
No, the Sith have never tried to use good or tried to do things that are good.
But it's not about the Sith. It's about the Sith code.
Okay,
it's about the code itself.
But
like,
the code
if I was a good person, here's a better way to phrase the question.
Well, if there was someone who
can a good person use that code to still be good?
Well, if they're passionate about whatever their objective is, then yes. If they're passionate, if it drives them to,
who's the example?
Me. I'm a good person.
There's not one I can think of in the Star Wars universe.
Because there's not. And I have the exact same question for you coming up, so to start thinking about it. Can an evil person use the Jedi code to get to the threshold of evilness?
I feel like the Sith code is just somewhat like it's like insanity kind of. The Sith code to me. And it sounds weird, but like if you're passionate about something, because the Sith code is passion, strength. The key words that stick out is passion, strength, power, victory, and broken. Like,
but it doesn't. Yeah, exactly.
So if you're passionate about something, if there's something you're passionate about, whether it's making sure the galaxy is you've seen it in movies where someone wants to save, whether it's the world or whatever it is, and they end up being the bad guy.
And what happens to them?
You break.
You pull a Harvey Dent.
You know what I mean? You become insane. You
Because
you
it doesn't
end up
work
in Arkham
that way.
You end up in Arkham Asylum. You know what I mean?
Yes. So you're trying to do good, but you're trying to do good with bad things, and it doesn't work that way.
But we're not talking about.
That's like robbing a bank and saying, you know what? I'm going to do good with this money.
We're not talking about going Robin Hood with it. It's like, okay, so like peace is a lie. There's only passion. So
yeah,
you can understand that peace is a lie and even on our small tiny planet, there is no iteration of peace ever.
Life. You can relate it to real life.
Essentially do that. Relate it to real life. So if you were a good, kind-hearted person and every day you woke up and you read the Sith code, could that amplify you to be a good person by pursuing your passions, using it to be full of strength and using that strength to be victory?
No.
But we're arguing we're not arguing the individuals yet. We're arguing just the code itself.
The code itself. The code itself. And I'm gonna say yeah, just because if I have to go with just the first word itself, because like strength and power don't really mean anything. Victory, of course, does, and being broken is something you would want to watch out for. But if you're passionate about something you care about a lot, and you go on with it, you go through with carrying it out, then yeah, that's something you could actually work with that. If you're a good person in your heart of hearts and you're just passionate about something. I can't really argue the other things in the Sith code just because they come from a place of Sith. It's just not a good.
Yeah,
they don't, and it's hard. It is hard. It is hard. It is hard to argue for the Sith code. You know what I mean? And with the Star Wars universe, they kind of all want the same thing. If you think about it, though. Jedi, as much as they want unity, they do want things ran their way. They believe the Jedi way, the way of the Jedi, is the best way to run things.
Exactly.
And the Sith believe the way to rule the galaxy is their best way. So they kind of both want the same thing. It's just with the Jedi, there's just light shed. It's because we won't just, instead of just wiping you guys out with a force choke or we'll be diplomatic. You'll have your chance. You'll be able to talk in court, so on and so forth. The Sith, there's none of that. Yeah, they just wipe you out. So that's what makes it hard to argue that code. But if you're a good person and there's something you're passionate about, again, like I'm saying, then that's you probably won't get too far. You'll probably get as far as victory, maybe even power, before you start going insane. And then,
yes,
but that's only if you start using your power for bad.
But it is bad. It is bad.
It's hard. It's really hard. I'm telling you, it's so hard to argue.
You had a tribe. You had tribes of Sith.
Yeah.
You had tribes of people. You had basically an army.
Yeah.
You had Revan. You had all of these. But Bane shows up and wipes everybody out.
think about it this way.
That's why my notes, the first thing I wrote was I'm torn. That was the first thing I wrote.
Throughout the galaxy, if the Jedi, you don't read anywhere in the 20,000 years that they wiped out a whole crew of people. They didn't do that.
Yeah.
They all worked together. Where?
No.
The Jedi wipe each other out?
No. I have like this haze in my head. Not that the Jedi wipe each other out, but the Jedi have made mistakes in the old canon where they've killed. But I'm not going to go off on that because I'm not 100% sure.
I agree.
But
you don't.
I want you to think
look
about.
Look at Poe Dameron. Look what he did. He risked those people's lives.
He was.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not going off that subject right now because I have some Poe Dameron remarks
I'm just alluding to what you were saying. Well, like that. And Leia felt the way about that. Like, you idiot. She demoted him. You know, and the lady who got promoted rubbed it in his face. Like, weren't you the one who just wiped out all of our bombers?
But
and
we
stuff
would
like that?
too, wouldn't we?
But see, that was Poe Dameron was in a place where you couldn't say like that was kind of Sith-like. You not giving it, just not caring at all.
Yes, it was.
Just put, and just it was a selfish act.
It was.
Just because he wanted, it's a dreadnought.
He wanted to take him out at all costs, and maybe he's I don't know if he has any kind of ability. I don't know that, but his passion to do it at all cost is a Sith. Is a Sith way.
And he was passionate about the victory against that dreadnought.
Right.
So it's because the Jedi and Sith code is real life. It's
how you
people
apply it. And who's using it.
Yeah, people battle with good and bad all day. All day.
All of us.
Before we finish phase 1, which I will award points.
I'm going to be awarded too many of them.
As we go on for phase 2 and 3, which will be shorter.
We cannot turn on each other.
Think about it this way, though. Think about each of the codes, like
Sith and Jedi in here.
But think about the codes as like religion. Just take your pick, any religion, because all religion is you're supposed to argue
and that's what
it's a good thing.
That's what I take it as.
Any religious doctrine is good for sake of argument. But there are some people who are super religious for whatever religion they are who do atrocious things.
I agree.
So does that make... So kind of think about the codes in that aspect, because you were arguing, well, it's a Sith code, so a good person can't use it. But would you argue the same way for a religious doctrine or a Jedi code that, well, it's a good thing, so bad people can't use it, but they do? Anakin technically used the Jedi code for bad. So, points. You both get a point.
Thanks.
I feel like we both did good. The Sith code was not easy to stand up for, though.
So,
no,
it wasn't.
The next question,
it really wasn't.
And we'll let Angie go first, since she's really hot-headed. She really wants to win this. See the passion in her eyes. Will be
fire.
Which member of the order that your code represents, so for Angie, which Jedi member do you think upholds the code word for word? Like if you were to read it, not read into it, but just read it at face value, who portrays the code in the Jedi Order the best and why?
I think it would be Yoda. Yoda upholds he upholds it, even though he had to do some battling and things. He still really never stepped over the line. If you stop and look at all the things that he did, he never stepped over the line when he could have, because he did have a lot of power. And he could have wiped out things when he was supposed to.
That's very, very true.
Even in the Clone Wars, he saw what was going to happen to Anakin, but never stepped over the line and took out Anakin. He never did. So, I mean, and he upheld the codes, I think, more than anyone. He could have seen death in his life from Jedi. He could have seen people become ill. And even when Anakin said, someone I know he feels is going to die, he tells him death is a good thing, you welcome it. So he did not step over that.
Yeah. See, I disagree with Angie though, because the Jedi code is so easy to agree with, because that's the kind of person I am.
Plus it's so like open-ended and dogmatic, you can kind of like, right? But
Yeah.
what would be for the Sith code, the number one?
Well, there's actually a couple people I think though. I think Kylo Ren is like a perfect example.
He is actually, even though he's not Sith, he does.
Like I said,
portray that code extremely well.
Because with the codes, I was going with the standout words. Like you have the dialogue in between, but you have the standout words like
passion, strength, power, victory,
and that explains Kylo Ren to the T. Passion, strength. Passionate about being Vader's successor, whatever that means to him, being the next Vader, being
misinformed,
being his obsessed with being more powerful. His obsessed with being more powerful than Vader. On top of just being passionate about being a successor to Vader or living up to the name, being stronger than his grandfather. So that goes with strength and power. Victory. He's had victories. He's had his battles where he's come out on top, and then broken. I'm just going around.
When he gets cut in the face.
Yeah, and him being broken, him being torn between the right, the wrongs, killing his father like Rey. So I mean, I would say Kylo Ren is one, and if I had to choose another one,
I only chose one. I got one choice.
I am satisfied with that answer though. But okay, you could do another one.
It was,
but it won't hold it. But I won't hold it up to standards.
Yeah.
But I want to hear because I want to see what else you're thinking.
Well, because I just bought the movie. I just got the movie like last week, and for a quick second, like I forgot when I saw the movie how like I thought Rey was gonna slip too.
Oh yeah.
Because Rey was on the brink of slipping, like right on that when she was sitting in style, and she was going through her first bit of training when she had to wake up at dawn. And she had to go train. He told her, he was like, "No, you didn't even wanna, like, pull yourself back. Like, you were gonna go head first. You were gonna dive deep right in." And she was even like breathing hard and like, "Oh shit! Like, what the I have to get like what just happened?" So it's not fully Rey, but just for a quick second, I was just like, "Oh no, Rey's gonna be bad."
But she has the potential to like.
If she wanted to easily,
like
just because she don't know where she comes from, she should be filled with hate.
She doesn't know.
She should be filled with
she
all
doesn't,
this.
she's on, the planet. She's on Jakku.
Yeah.
She's been left there. She's got anger because she doesn't know.
She could easily be a Sith. Easily, just because she has so many questions.
But I don't think she would.
No, I don't think so either. It was just for that quick second where you were just like. Me personally, I was like, Rey, no, because she could have.
We've seen it before.
Yeah, and I didn't know where her character was going because we don't really know much about her still.
We've seen it before because Obi-Wan, he strikes at Anakin, but he doesn't like take the saber and and he just took the high ground.
And I think that's where my fear came from because we've seen Anakin and then we've seen him turn into Darth Vader, and with Rey was almost like the same thing. Not like I said, that's the same potential. Fully, it was just the potential being like
wrestling with the unsurety inside. Yeah,
being so gifted and talented with the
Force. And all it takes
is
one tiny thing in your life to
flip that switch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I liked both of those. You guys are making this difficult on me. You know that? Phase 2 has ended.
Okay, what's the next one?
And we have awarded points to both of you. So the third and final phase is going to have to be a tiebreaker. No matter how good the answers are, I'm going to have to choose one. It cannot
be a lightsaber battle because I would lose.
It will not be a lightsaber. The third...
I've been practicing, yes.
Yeah,
the third and final one is going to be kind of difficult because it's going to take some imagination. So, and we're going to let Aaron go first with this one since you went first last time. Out of your respective codes that you have, if there is one line or one section, as it were, because there are a lot of them broken down to 2 lines per section, which one would you scrap or change and why?
Would I scrap or change with the Sith code?
And why? Can't just go the passion one because it's fun. Gotta give me a reason.
All right. Yeah, I'm good. With me being a human being and all these things, like once came up in my life, I should say. I would probably have to scrap maybe either strength or power.
Strike the power.
Yeah, just because to me strength and power may not necessarily mean the same thing, but like in general they kind of do mean the same thing. If I acquire more power, I'm strong.
Like if you look at it at face value, it's the same thing. But if you're a poet or a philosopher, you could argue.
Yeah, see, through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I gain power. To me, like they kind of run the mill. You know what I mean? They kind of. Because if I gain strength, that's power. If I gain power, that's strength.
And you could still achieve victory with strength.
Yeah, whatever it is. So I'm gonna have to probably scrap. Either I have to pick one.
Yeah, pick one line. Yeah, you gotta do it.
Strength, because power. I just like that word.
You like the power? Yeah, I can dig that.
I just like the word power. So yeah, we'll scrap strength.
I like that.
Okay,
so,
from the Jedi Code. From the Jedi Code.
Yeah,
right?
a line you'd either scrap completely or change, and why?
There is no emotion. I would scrap that because there is emotion. Every human thing, every living being has emotion. And if they had been allowed to go on some of those emotions, things would have gone around a little differently. Because you can't live without emotion. You have to have that. And for them to say there's no emotion, to me, and it's the number one thing they have in the Jedi Code. There is no emotion. There needs to be emotion because a lot of them they were heartfelt. They did things because they felt compassion and in their hearts they felt emotion and were moved by things.
Yeah.
Like when you see, for example, Obi-Wan looks at Duchess Satine, there's emotion in him. He feels it. When Padme and Anakin are together, he's feeling this emotion of love, and they should be able to have that.
And that's something that both codes share.
It is.
They both. There's no emotion shown. I wonder why
But
that is.
but there needs to be.
There kind of is and isn't, because they both, like, because the difference between Jedi and Sith at their core is not evil or good. It's we're selfless, we're selfish. Yeah. It's emotion versus non-emotion, or non-emotion versus passion.
Right.
Yes.
So yeah, but my argument against that is Spock. He's exemplary.
It's a wrong universe.
I just wanted to joke with you. Oh my!
The look on Angie's face was.
I liked both answers. I loved yours because I loved Aaron's because.
But there is, what is it? Every 7 years.
The look on her face was like.
Oh well, yeah. Their mating ritual where they get all like super. Oh yeah.
What is it called? Fun something or other.
Ponfar? No. What is it? Ponfar?
It could be Ponfar.
Yeah,
every 7 years.
I think it's
the Vulcan.
God, I know way too much about Star Wars and Star Trek.
This is the wrong thing.
Wrong universe, right?
I want to throw you just a curveball as we ended it.
Did you see the look on my face? Like, what the fuck?
That's why I'm laughing so hard over here. I'm trying to contain myself right now.
I like both answers. I loved Aaron's because he pointed out the duality of power and strength. It's like, well, it's kind of the same thing. It's a simile.
They're the same thing.
I really liked yours though because of the emotion. Because that's one thing I agree with. That's why I could never be a true Jedi.
And I think
because
that's
I'm not
what
a Vulcan.
Took them down. It's the fact that Anakin wasn't allowed to have those emotions. If he had been allowed to have those emotions,
he wouldn't have been Darth Vader.
He wouldn't have been Darth Vader.
Yeah,
he would have been different. He would have, because he wouldn't have told them, okay, well, whoever it is that you're having a vision about, she's going to die.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it. How can you not? He was in love with her.
Yeah.
Since he saw her, he said she was an angel.
Yeah.
He called her an angel. And how many times when we talked about the couples in Star Wars, they felt a complete emotion for each other. You have Ventress and Voss feeling emotion for each other. You have Obi-Wan and his 5 ladies feeling emotion.
It should be that the first line shouldn't be there is no emotion. It should be you're going to have emotions. Just bury those deep down inside because they're not allowed here.
Yeah,
because you can't. There isn't any.
They're not allowed here.
Yeah,
repress them, get a tumor, move on with your life.
But you know what? It's in human nature to have emotions, and you can't be emotionless. It doesn't. How can I say it? There'll be no survival of people if we had no emotions.
True.
Because nobody would take care of each other.
No one would care what happened to.
Right. No, and even in this world, people have emotion and love for each other. Compassion. You just can't get rid of that.
Yeah.
Well, as we conclude the first monthly Dantooine Debate Hour, is what I'm calling it now.
Monthly? No, I was kidding.
Maybe we'll see.
To talk about all these other things I wrote down. I mean, I wrote down a lot, studied them, and
you wrote an essay. Well,
that could actually be those could be your final thoughts if you want.
Oh, we will do final thoughts after the victor. After I declare the victor.
Those could definitely be your final thoughts.
So, the victor for the first Dantooine Debate Hour.
It needs to be a tie.
Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Angie. It's Angie. She won me over with the emotion thing. 'Cause I'm like, I was thinking she was gonna go for a different line. I was hoping she wouldn't go for the emotion. So it's like if she went to the emotion and argued it right, she would have won, and she didn't. So
the emotion thing was
both arguments were great for being kind of lackluster prepared. So I loved them.
So if
well, you know what I mean? I mean, no,
I wrote an essay. How is that?
I'm talking like we were kind of prepared, but we weren't prepared.
Not for a debate. We weren't prepared for a debate at all.
So I guess if anybody is listening, if you have any subjects these two should debate in the future,
they
comment on YouTube, Facebook, whatever. Just let us know, because I think this is gonna be fun. If not, I have a couple really good.
We could even
kind of less analytical ones we could debate for the future.
I'd like to even debate costumes. The different types of Jedi clothing that they wore.
Oh yeah,
and eventually there will be props. Like today, I was going to get a prize for the winner. It was going to be either a Revan or an Ahsoka Black Series figure.
Oh, really?
I have some extras.
So I would have
couldn't find it. See, your argument might have been better once you saw that there was a prize.
But you know what? With the Sith code going on, I might have been knocked out.
I was thinking. You know what I was thinking? I was thinking that what we should do is I could probably make something, but I want to make essentially a trophy. That each month or each 2 months or each week or whatever, whoever wins it, they take the trophy and then they bring it back to defend.
What I find interesting that didn't happen is what would you have said if you had to stand up for the
Sith?
Yeah,
I almost gave it to her, but she was so like, I wanted to do Jedi.
That would be really, really interesting.
Oh wait,
because you are a Sith also.
Yes, I am a Sith also. Gosh, what would I have said? I would have said almost the same thing you did. It's like anybody who is. I've seen a lot of different things. People who race motorcycles, people who are in business. They claw their way to the top to get what they want.
Yeah.
And I think that it's like what you're saying. You do what you need to do to get it done. And I think that would have been my argument that you're clawing your way to the top. You're doing what you need to do. You're not letting anything stand in your way, and you're gonna. This is like Poe. He was willing to take out a whole group of people to get what he wanted.
Yeah, he wanted to take out that dreadnought. Yeah.
So I that would have been my thing. To claw my way, to do what I needed to do to get to the top, and it eventually crumbles, just like the Roman Empire.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
I forgot my part too, because I told you I would do a quickie of which one I prefer and why. And mine is Sith, and not because of the Sith. It's because of the code itself. Like, I'm talking like if we were in a college English class, we were given these two, and we had to argue for them in a 12-page paper. It's the Sith because essentially it makes it. You can apply it to anything, and you don't have to be evil or good to apply it to that. I don't believe in peace. Like, there's never been peacetime ever.
There has.
In world.
There has. Google it. But it's only a small.
There's never been peacetime.
Yes, there has been, but it's only.
I'm talking on like a scale like where nobody is fighting and everybody's happy. Like
yes,
I'm not even including tribal warfare and stuff.
Yes, there has been, and it's a very small time in the world. It's a very small time, but I think it's within our human nature to disagree on things, and it's okay to disagree on things because
as long as you don't slaughter anyone.
Yeah, exactly. But there have been tribes that have slaughtered other tribes because they want, just like the Sith, want to get to what they want to get to, and they're going to take out.
And that's kind of why I like the Sith code, not the taking out everybody part. Well, I mean, never mind. Maybe if I was
but it doesn't work.
Part of the mafia. God, I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on Godfather because I'm watching those movies right now.
How are we getting in all these other universes?
Oh my god. So, but no, I don't believe in peace. It's like a construct, and it all makes sense to me because, you have passion. At the core of what we all are as humans, that's one thing we all have and share no matter what. We all are passionate about something. We're passionate about this podcast. I'm passionate about going home and finishing Godfather and playing video games tonight. And because of the passion.
I'm passionate about going to see Ready Player One tonight.
Yeah!
Oh, yeah. But you're passionate about something and how you.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Right on.
Yes.
And
so ready.
Because of your passion, you're able to improve your strengths for what you're passionate about. And we'll say the same thing about power, and you achieve victory that way. Whether victory is, I finally finished this lightsaber prop I've been working on for 10 years and never had the skill to do until the past 6 months, or whether it is, I overthrew the American government and now we're the United Empire of America, because that's also one of my dreams. But
Wow.
I've always wanted to pull a Palpatine on a government, if I'm being honest. But
you know what happened to Palpatine.
I know, but it was. Do you know how just any government, and not because any government's bad, but you know how cool it would be just to rise into the ranks of government and go,
Is that bad
we're
that I
not
would
this
help- that I
anymore.
would
We
know
are an
how-
empire.
Well, we know how that worked for the Roman Empire. It didn't work.
True.
So
But yeah, so
Rome
that's why.
burned in a day.
That's
so
why.
keep going.
That's why I agree with the Sith code more than the Jedi code, because the Jedi code is really, it is very dogmatic, and it is written in a way to where they can interpret it however they want, to justify whatever they want in any time of need.
Yeah,
And
but I
granted, a
think
lot of things are written that way, and you could argue the Sith is too.
Right.
But at least at face value, the Sith, I can go, I am passionate, I can be given strength, and I can obtain power in the world through strength, whether it's good power or bad power. And because of that power, I can achieve
But
victory.
the Jedi never tried to attain power. They
What do
really
you
never.
call the galactic? Okay,
The
we'll have to
Galactic
know.
Republic was a
Wait, no,
sentence.
pause, because I like that topic that the Jedi never tried to gain power. I want to use that one day.
Okay, we'll
we're gonna
do
have
that.
to use that one day.
Okay,
I'll have to
so
refine
for
that.
my closing
yeah,
argument.
give me your closing, because I want to see what you
because
have.
you're gonna like this.
Angie's final thoughts.
Okay, my
You're
final
rubbing it in. I
thoughts.
could still take the trophy and give it to him. I'm just
Okay.
kidding. I won't do it.
In the movie The Matrix. Okay, I'm.
Oh,
gonna
and
use-
I'm the one pulling all these outside references.
Okay, I'm going to be pulling this for a reason, and you're going to hear it in a second. In the movie The Matrix, they're talking to him. They're talking to him about how the first group of people never made it, and the crops all died. I don't know if you remember seeing that.
Yeah.
The crops all died, whatever. The reason why they did was one reason, because of hope. And in Star Wars, there always seems to be with the Jedi, as long as there's hope, they always go on and endure. And with the Jedi, they always have that hope. And as long as you have hope, you're always going to endure and move forward.
I wonder.
The
would you
Jedi-
consider hope an emotion? Because that'd be kind of funny. I'm not trying to like just
No,
throw your
it
argument. I'm
isn't.
like, because that's
It
kind of cool.
isn't.
Like, because you're right. They're always hopeful about things like our prophecies or whatever, and it's like, that's an emotion, dudes.
Yes. The Jedi believe in peace, justice, wisdom, humility, structure, and keepers of wisdom, defenders of justice. They believed in that, and as long as they had that and they had that hope, they're always going to survive. They're always going to endure. You're always going to see that underdog. And the same thing in The Matrix. In the movie The Matrix, they always had that hope. And when they did, they actually came out on top.
Kind of like how after the Cardassian War in Star Trek Deep Space Nine and Next Generation,
No.
the Bajorans still had hope. No, I had to do it because no.
Yeah. Okay, Aaron, go ahead.
Do you have like
Closing
anything you wanted to say else too after
your
the fact?
closing
or
argument, why you feel so
anything you've come
passionate.
up with that could have beaten Angie in this time? But you're like, damn it.
Well, I agree with D when he says that the Sith code is kind of more. It's not realistic. I'm not going to use the word realistic, but you could apply it to.
It's more applicable
because with obtaining the shop, and this is I might be a Sith, and this is actually worrying me that I'm gonna say this, but with acquiring the shop, I did have to really dive into my passion and make it become my strength to where I was able to make what I was dreaming turn into reality. And there were people who I definitely had to. I couldn't worry. I had to be emotionless. I couldn't care about how they felt, how they saw me. I didn't do anything crazy to get the spot, but like there were people who definitely they weren't around when you were really, really grinding and really wanting this, and then when you obtained it, then they wanted to show face and come around. Right,
and that happens a lot. It really does.
So with the Sith code, and I was thinking about this when we were debating. I was thinking about all the stuff I had to go through just to get this, and it's so crazy that wall back there, those same people I was talking about who weren't around, they came around, and I kind of have their names are written up there for me to see. Well, not you, D, but there are some people on there where I look at that wall sometimes and I see their name on there, and I'm just like,
I dig it.
Right,
Yeah.
and
you know what I mean? Yeah.
I think the people that were around you in the beginning, when you were building it, those are the ones you're going to be able to trust the most.
Absolutely.
Because those were the ones when you were right there, right at the bottom, they were there with you.
Yes.
But sometimes you do, you know, just like in anything else, like movie stars, basketball players, football players, all of a sudden you have all these Klingons after the fact. And I mean, I'm not talking bad about people, but some people come into your life that
she said Klingon.
Klingons.
I was sitting there thinking for a second. I was like, wait, did she just like insert Klingons into this and I'm the one getting in trouble? I'm sorry. I was legitimately like, did you not see me? She said, yeah, these people who cling on. And I'm like, what? Oh, okay, I get it.
In the neutral zone.
Yeah.
Klingons are the coolest. I will say Klingons are the coolest thing in sci-fi ever.
Yes, you understand who were the people that were there at the very beginning. You understand that. And you understand who the other people are after the fact too.
Exactly.
And you know where your commitments lie and who are the people you can trust.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. And I mean, it's like that with anything. You know, when I first started, I went to, as far as the Saber Guild and Star Wars and everything else, when I went to that convention and I talked to Gabe, he gave me the pamphlet and it was me who said, you know what, I want this. It was the passion in me. I want to do this. I want to be part of this wonderful group, this wonderful Star Wars organization of people, you know, networking of people. And I've met great people. And you know, but it's something I did from the bottom. Nobody was with me when I did it.
Yeah.
And when I drove to practices, nobody went with me.
Yeah.
You know, and I have a lot of friends now that are in it, and I do trust these people. I see them as family, as my Star Wars family, just like I view you guys. You know, we've all started to do this, and it's a wonderful thing. And it was 3 of us. Yeah. You know, and if it becomes more, that's great. I'm okay with that. You know, I'm not an inclusive person, and we're thinking, you know, just the 3 of us. Yeah. I'm always willing to bring more people in, and I ask people to come because I want them to be part of it.
Absolutely.
But I mean, I never had a problem with talking to people because when I felt a connection with you when I met you over 2 blue moons. Yeah. You and Alex, you know, and it was a very wonderful. We became, you know, friends on Facebook, liked each other's stuff, and I mean, I've always, you know, I would see what you were doing. Yeah. And I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, likewise. You know, so I that's what I think about the Sith code. And that's what I said. It kind of worried me to even think about it like that, but I had to relate it to my final thought. And it actually it tied in.
I need a can of gold spray paint.
Okay.
If somebody finds it and brings it to me, because I have the perfect trophy for this that you guys will freaking love.
Is it a shoe spray painted silver
No.
because we're running?
I don't want to give it up. It's Star Wars. I will say it's Star Wars related.
Okay.
But I want to. I was thinking about using it today, but I was like, But if I gold plated it, it would be the greatest little trophy to go back and forth between people.
I'll get you gold spray paint for sure. I will. I'll get it. Okay. I'll get it.
But yeah, that concludes the first ever Dantooine Debate Hour.
Yeah.
I thought we did a great job. I thought we did really, really good.
Yes. So next week, we'll be talking about your favorite food and drink scenes.
I already have an amazing
favorite food and drink scenes.
Okay.
That includes Obi-Wan, my sexy man in the bar.
We already know what yours is. It's not fair.
And
nobody can guess mine.
There's all kinds of different things, but I mean, I've already written down some food scenes
my
that I like.
Muffin. My instant muffin.
Who doesn't love that? But we'll have to do that next week. So thank you everybody for joining us on Radio Geonosis. I'm like,
you were about to call it the Dantooine Debate Hour.
Yes, I know. On Radio Geonosis. And David?
Oh yeah, and be sure to like and subscribe to us on YouTube and check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Radio Geonosis.
Yay!